Welcome, Spray Like Nation, to another glorious day here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've got my buddy Brent here with me. We're going to talk about concrete as we normally do. And today, got a question for you.
What's that, Josh?
When is a dad joke mature?
I don't know. When is a dad joke mature?
When it's full grown?
Like that kind of grown. Okay, yeah, that was good.
I mean, we're going to talk about maturity method of testing in place concrete. I figured I'd start out with a little immature joke about dad jokes. I mean, you're a dad, I'm a dad. Why not?
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know,
That was a
my
good
kids
one.
hate me for
You're
it.
almost you're almost a granddad.
I am almost a granddad. I'm not too far away from it.
So when does a dad joke become obvious that it's a dad joke? When it becomes apparent.
No.
Okay. All right. Bad.
No,
bad.
no,
All
that
right.
was worse than my full grown.
It was.
It really was.
Yeah. So maturity method and
Estimating in place
of
concrete.
estating
Yes,
in
because
place.
it is estimation.
Yeah, concrete strengths. So where do we start?
Work. Not homework, but work. Because we're in the lab. We're going to start with concrete mixes. We're going to start with cylinders.
Okay.
We're going to start with an insulated box.
Yes.
It's like, an insulated thermos.
Okay.
But a big box for your cylinders. You want to make up the mix.
Okay.
The one you're actually going to use on the job site.
Yeah. The actual mix that you're going to use for the particular project. I like to use an actual truck and the batch plant to load a few yards, 3 or 4 yards of concrete, and actually sample like you would on a job site. That's my preference. And then what?
Got to make some cylinders.
Okay. Yeah, we make a bunch of cylinders.
And how many cylinders you make is really going to be determined by your design professional, how much of a graph he wants to see. And then you got to have some extra cylinders, not to be broken, but to have the maturity meters placed in them.
Yeah.
At least 3 so you get an average, but it really is going to be, again, talking to your design professional about how many he wants to get that average as you're making that comparison of compressive strength.
I
To
like
your
to
readings, your maturity.
I like to use 6x12s too. It's a personal choice. Just 6x12s has got more mass, more heat, more like. To me,
Well, you
they're-
also get more coverage around that maturity probe in there
Yeah.
as well. So, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I've always used 6x12s as well.
So take us through the process. How do we've got some cylinders. We've got some cylinders that have maturity probes in them,
Yes, sir.
and then we have some cylinders that we're going to break in compression. Let's say you have a pavement. A concrete pavement's 12 inches thick. You want to see when you can open up that pavement for traffic.
And that would determine on how quickly they want to do it, and that would be your start of your breaks. Whether it's 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, you want to start breaks before you actually want to try to release it. And what you would do is you would break at least 2 cylinders, if not 3.
Yeah.
So you get an average of that hour.
Yeah.
And then you also read your maturity probes that are in there inside the box.
Yep.
That way you get the time and temperature
Yep.
of your maturity probes as an average.
Yeah, so that's the readers typically spit that out in the units of they multiply the time and the temperature, right? So you get like degrees Celsius, hours as
Or degree Fahrenheit, depending on how you got it set up.
okay.
So you would mark that down and start graphing
Yeah.
your maturity meter readings versus your compressive strength readings. And you run that out for as long as you need to, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, hours, or whatever you're needing. And that way you're getting a good estimation. I've seen stuff to go up to 28 days, just in case you wanted to see it.
Sure. So the point being that you have maturity probes then in the actual pavement in this case that we're talking about, you stick the probes out there, you take your readings, and at that given degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit hours reading on that probe,
You can see what your estimated
this-
compressive
yeah.
strength is so that you're not having to worry about breaking cylinders all the time, and that way you can get quick readings and you know about where you're at.
Oh, that's awesome. So where is this used? Where is it mostly?
Well, besides paving,
Yeah.
mostly I've seen it in PT cable.
Oh, yeah.
So as the post-tensioning cables, when you're wanting to stress them versus having to break a lot of cylinders or making a lot of cylinders, you can actually read the maturity meters and make sure you got the compressive strength you need before you start pulling those cables, because that can get really dangerous if the concrete's not set up enough for when those cables get pulled and snap through the concrete.
Yep. So I've also seen it used in form and shoring removal type situations where you want to be sure that you get a certain compressive strength before you wreck the forms.
Or if you're loading, and this way, if you're trying to load and you're doing a 24-hour loading cycle or anything, you're trying to get it quicker than trying to break cylinders every hour over a 24-hour period.
It's amazing how much technology has changed the industry just in the time that I've been in it.
So you're saying we've come a long way, that we've matured in our testing capabilities?
Yes, we have. We've matured in our testing capabilities, and we hope that you've matured a little bit throughout this video after the jokes that we told, and learned a little bit about concrete maturity method. It's a great method to save time, but it's also pretty darn accurate from what I've seen. But you want to work with your construction, your engineering design professional, and your GCs to make sure that everybody's on the same page and understands the limitations as well as the capabilities of the maturity method. So thank you so much for joining us today, and please like and subscribe, ask us questions. With that, we'll sign off and join us next time.
Thank you.